Hello friends, and welcome to our Barbie program. We are so excited to be here in the doll shop and share some Barbie fun with our wonderful Christopher Johnson. Hey Christopher.
Hello Rachel, how are you?
I'm really good, how are you?
I have never been happier. I was born for today.
Would you mind, for our friends out there, because you are a new face, introducing yourself?
Well,
and telling
yes,
us a little bit about you?
Yes. My name is Christopher, and I've been here at the doll shop I'm new meat here. I have only been here for a couple of months now, but I've been a doll fan for my entire life, which is a very short 25 years, and I am so stoked to be here. There's a chance, maybe not a large one, that you perhaps may know me from Instagram as Trinket Twink, but I am here in the shop today as a fervent Barbie collector. So if you're one of the very few people that follow me, hello and welcome, and thank you for joining me and Rachel and the Virtual Doll Convention.
And also, I just have to, the outfit is everything.
Well, I figure it only made sense to come in appropriate Barbie attire.
It's
I've got
everything.
a tiny, and I don't know, it's hard to open, but it's actually a locket, and inside there's a teeny tiny photo of Barbie. Isn't that stupid?
No, it's awesome. It's so good.
I love this,
It's so good. How long have you had that?
About 24 hours. It came on eBay last night.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's dive right in.
Yes, please.
To our program here. Now, you brought a lot of treasures. Of course, the big one is the theater, but we're just I'm gonna let you take the reins and share some of these wonderful Barbie creations here.
Yeah, we can do that. So I have been, I'm not an especially, I'm a young person, so I don't have a ton of years to have been a collector of Barbie, but I've been collecting for about the last 5 years maybe. Obviously I did not grow up with 1960s Barbie, but she is my favorite. Despite that maybe lack of nostalgia, I think she is, she's the blueprint for so many things that we as doll collectors know and love now. And the detail and innovation was kind of remarkable for the time, and so I think kind of honing in on what makes that so special today is what I hope to do. I know that Barbie collectors are fervent and passionate and very knowledgeable, so I by no means claim to be an expert today, but I am a fan right along with you. And thank you for trusting me with these wonderful treasures to share with you, and I hope that we can, I don't know, celebrate and fangirl together. Yeah,
absolutely. Exactly. That's what we do, and that's what it's all about. I'm not an expert in anything. I just love to share and have fun, and
I'm sure
and share what I share.
Yeah.
Well, that's sweet.
Yeah. Well, the crown jewel, which I suppose we should have more of a grand reveal moment of, is our 1964 Barbie and Ken Little Theater. This is maybe not the most rare set that Mattel produced for them, but it's certainly one of them. This is usually in shambles, which you can see is a well-loved piece. It's still not in perfect condition. We've got some kind of fraying, decaying pieces here, which is very common, but this is a complete set. We have every backdrop, we have all of the wings, we have the costumes, we even have the scripts, and we have the original assembly instructions just down here as well. So if you want to see costume options, we have the booklets, and if you want to see how to put it together, we have that option. It's a really phenomenal piece for imaginative play for children that with its intricacy and detail, you don't really see a whole lot of anymore, so I think it's a really rare piece. This set we have displayed Cinderella, which you can actually have the same costumes used for the waking of Sleeping Beauty. This particular set comes with Prince Charming and Cinderella, of course. The rarer accessories that we wonderfully have included are a cushion for her one glass slipper to actually be displayed on. That is a 1960s spike shoe, as collectors know them, as opposed to a closed-toe pump, which is very similar but slightly different. I have seen that clear slipper in a closed-toe pump, but this is a spike version. And I can show you maybe.
I love this.
Knock everything over. This is, so the toe here, if you can see, It's a point here, but the base of the shoe where her foot slides in comes up kind of high on her foot, and the shape, the silhouette of the heel here is really kind of knobby. You've got a tall spike. These are indicators of what's called a spike shoe to collectors. A closed-toe pump has a slightly smaller heel, and it's got kind of a ridge here. You can see where they kind of connect the shoe. I also think closed-toe pumps are slightly more stylish. I think they're more flattering on Barbie. Frankly, these are kind of clunky, but the shoe itself is very rare, and of course this set only came with one because Cinderella famously loses her other one, right? So this is, well, maybe. It's finicky, right? But that's your one shoe. So if you ever find a second shoe on its own, you have a fortune on your hands.
Really?
If you can find both shoes, I mean, it's so hard to find one. So if you have both shoes, because the set didn't come that way, you really are onto something special.
And what I love right here is the tickets.
Yeah.
To get into the theater. And look, you have all 6?
Yeah. 7. So we also have the King Arthur production, yeah. So you get King Arthur over there in the corner, and her queen, and or his queen, I should say. You have all 4 tickets for each production. There's Aladdin, A Royal Surprise, 1001 Nights, Little Red Riding Hood, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, and King Arthur's Adventure.
So much fun.
Yeah, it's so cute, and you actually have not real seating here, but you can see how the case kind of unfolds. You have the appearance of a house for Barbie and her friends to come to the premiere to and sit and enjoy the show. So if you were to, maybe as a fortunate child that had many toys and accessories, you might be able to set seats here and let your dolls actually sit and watch a production that you are sharing for other people, maybe your parents or your siblings, and you can all play here. So just to show you the size of this, I can't actually, it's too big to get around just the table, so I'm going to take a little detour.
take a little lap.
Yeah, the scenic route. So what I like about this is how kind of intricate it is for children's imagination play. If you take a look here, you can actually use the stage doors as an entrance for your small little children-sized hands to get through and kind of play puppetry with the dolls. And then that way, when you're looking at the stage head-on, you don't see anybody over here. All you see is the imagination and play of the dolls moving if you have your hands kind of pulling this way. So I'll see if I can wedge my hands in there and show you. If you're looking at the stage from the front, you can do play this way that doesn't disrupt the illusion of you know, the dolls kind of moving on their own.
Now the strings are original and intact, but also the curtain, I think it's a marvel that I don't see any holes or rips in the fabric. Mm-hmm. It is delicate fabric.
Yes.
And it's all there. How great!
Very thin, and it's quite common to see tears in that, especially because the curtain itself is perforated so that the strings can pull through it. You often see tears that way, and I'm so glad that we still have a really decent piece. It's not perfect, but it's darn close.
It's darn close.
Yeah,
I love it. So let me get down.
Yeah,
so
I don't know how much you can see here. But you'll see the mechanism here. You've got what's called the lift bar, and the idea is that you've got these sort of notches that you could just roll the strings into. Because that takes so much time, which I think is the right way to do it. But if you've got like a big grand opening that you want to show, pulling it straight up and then back, you can roll it later. You know, to store it, I think it's best to keep it that way. But it doesn't have to function that way all the time, and I think that's very fun.
I love it. We're going to show a couple of the other backdrops just for fun, because I'm so curious to see what those look like.
Yeah, do you want to see a little change real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to kind of intermission curtain down and show you what this looks like when it changes. So the other option we have is a kind of throne room. I would imagine this is most ideal for either Sleeping Beauty or King Arthur, maybe. I mean, I don't know, you could do a Little Red Riding Hood here. That's all about imagination. There's no rules, right? Do what you want.
You could even create your own, and if you measured it and put it in there and really go crazy.
I would be over the moon if I found like a home. You see so many mommy-made like dresses and outfits and things for all of the dolls, but you never see things like I've never once seen a homemade cardboard set for this, but I imagine somebody probably made one, and that would be insane to see.
Well, I made a life-size one. Remember that?
Well, there's that. Then you've got insane doll collectors like you and me that are willing to go the extra mile.
Exactly.
Let's see, what else do we have for, like, set pieces? We've got let's say that we're doing Sleeping Beauty. Naturally, she needs a bed, right? Which actually, this is for a different set, but they're all mix and match. So let's say that you had a little scene change in between takes or whatever, and then you're sitting in the audience awaiting the Act 2 to start, and you have a whole new stage.
I love this.
Right?
That's so good.
We may not use all of them to show. I certainly can if you'd like, but we have the other backdrops of the outside of the castle. We have a forest scene, perhaps like a Snow White chase moment. You've got certainly opportunity for Little Red Riding Hood. And then you also have Cinderella's attic, which I think is so charming. That's a great backdrop for the bed that you just saw with a quilt. And then on the other side of this, we have a really great scene for Aladdin, Arabian Nights. I love the fountain, the detail in the flowers. It's very, very 60s in illustration without losing charm. It doesn't feel tacky later. It really keeps a sort of timeless quality. Other, like, wing set pieces, you see the kind of borders here that allow you to hide the stage doors on the side. You could also have a sort of autumnal forest scene, or maybe like a springtime forest scene. And then you've got several other options for Cinderella's attic and what have you. It's very fun. None of these pieces are faded. In fact, when I bought this, these were all still flat. They had never been like punched out or folded before, which is really exciting. So minty, minty, minty condition. We've got all the furniture pieces. We have the bed, we have the coffee table, we have the sort of like dressing chair, and then there's the throne. We have the Cinderella slipper and the cushion and the prince, and I just think it's lovely. And I got this, and believe it or not, I got the costumes on dolls in complete sets. And I got the theater in a complete set. Usually, collecting takes so much time to find every single piece. If you're a crazy collector like I am, I refuse to show anything that's not, like, really done. I don't even want to keep a set that's not complete. And to find a set already in that condition was just a dream. So
such a dream.
Such a dream. We have a beautiful collector piece here of Rachel's. This is a later bubble cut in Sophisticated Lady. She was in 1964's Christmas catalog and took up 3 pages in that book. Perhaps some of your viewers remember that book. It is certainly one of her most luxurious outfits, and to date, I think inflation considered is her most expensive.
Really?
It was very expensive for the time, and you've got a real velour coat, you've got a trim, you've got, normally she has a tiara and very, very rare shoes. She's a hard one to find, and this one is in excellent, excellent condition. There's no stains, there's no tears.
Are the shoes, is she wearing the right shoes?
She, I don't believe is. I don't think we have shoes for her. Actually, well, I
wanted to see those rare shoes.
Well, I might surprise you. I might have a pair sitting around somewhere. We have one of my personal favorites that I'm sure lots of children just died over, which was the Ballerina set. This is the Sugar Plum Princess in the Nutcracker. She still has the tiara and the shoes and the bag. Somewhere else we have the leotard and the tights to go with that. Another beautiful piece of Rachel's here is Evening Splendor. This is a complete set in mint condition. In the purse, I believe we do have the hanky there as well, and that is the hanky specific to this outfit and not to Roman Holiday. Believe it or not, those are different hankies because Mattel just could not be stopped. Next to her, we have another one of my favorites. This is a rather perhaps not luxurious reproduction. She's a very standard reproduction ponytail. This doll actually was the teacher reproduction, but she is in Barbecue, and I just love the detail of this outfit. You've got a real set of utensils here, The rolling pin is actually wooden. I just think that's fantastic. It's so intricate and so silly. Like, who would ever be barbecuing in a petticoat like that, you know? And of course Barbie is. The doll that made me really, really fall in love with my own collection and want to maybe inspire me to collect more was Fashion Queen. I know that's maybe an unpopular opinion. She has a reputation for being rather ugly, but I'm gonna plug her ears like she can't hear that. I think she's lovely. I think she's so ridiculous. This doll comes bald. More specifically, she's got a sculpted head, so that you can see she has the ability to wear wigs. She still has her original headband as well. And perhaps I shouldn't be gambling this way, but these are her original earrings. She has not yet developed green ear, and I keep a close eye on her to make sure that that doesn't happen. But it's so rare to see Barbie in her original stud earrings, so I figure if I can get away with it for as long as I can, then I will. We have the full set with her original wigs in pretty good shape. We have the Titian flip, a blonde bubble, and then the brunette page boy. And I don't know, I think the idea of Barbie evolving into this doll that was, she's known for hair play, and Mattel really wasn't prepared for that when they first made Barbie. They were expecting maybe something else from her, projecting careers and life aspirations onto. But kids, we love the hair, and I think they should have expected that. And this doll, I think, really was innovative in that way, getting the ball rolling to head that direction. She's marvelous, and I'll show you, I particularly like her in the flip. I think she's got such a nice face for it.
And if I may, you have fabulous hair.
Oh, mine?
Yes.
This whole thing?
Yes.
Thank you. Let's see, does she look wonky yet? A little wonky, not too bad. And actually, I've put it on asymmetrically, but that's very 60s, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Right?
Oh, so 60s.
So cute.
It looks so. Did you see the Elowen's Gambit?
Yes.
Yes, it looks like that.
It's very like
And then
that.
the wig we later did with Tonner, it's totally that.
That's a marvelous wig.
I
Bring
love
that one
it.
back. I love that one.
Yes, it's a good one. I hope so.
Right? Unfortunately, she can't quite wear the turban and the wig, but I don't think she doesn't need to, right? So cute. Now, the tragic part of this doll that I'm sure anyone that is familiar with Barbie knows is that if you were to leave the wig on, unfortunately, there's a chemical reaction between Barbie's vinyl and the plastic that lines the wig, that if you were to leave it too long, you get this really awful melting that kind of fuses together, and then you misshape her head, and she becomes... if you already think Fashion Queen Barbie is not all that cute, like, just leave a wig on her for a couple of years and see what happens.
Well, I didn't think that was a thing. Now, Miss Barbie, I know people do not think is so gorgeous, but I didn't heard these rumors about Fashion Queen.
Yeah, and even worse, it'll also happen to the stand. So you can get, if you leave the wigs on the stand, like maybe you have a mint-in box, crown jewel Miss Barbie, or Fashion Queen in her original packaging. It's often impossible to get that wig off of the stand because they've just melded together. But this one's not too bad, thankfully.
Oh yeah, she's fun.
But speaking of Miss Barbie, we have one here that I knew, like, this was a goal of mine forever and ever to have a nice Miss Barbie. I am sneakily disguising her in a full outfit that disguises her entire body because her legs have been beaten up a little bit. She's not in perfect shape, but miraculously, she doesn't have any melt marks on her head. So somehow, throughout the years, she never had any sort of melting, and that's her original headband as well. Now, she has had her eyebrows touched up. I will say they're not, like, perfect.
Haven't we all?
Yeah. Right, nobody's brows are organic, maybe, and certainly not hers. A good telltale sign is if you see, and actually we'll show you another example soon, Miss Barbie has kind of a shorter brow, and this one's just slightly too long. If you've got a good eye for it, if you've trained your eye to look for restorations in dolls and maybe what a good one is and maybe like what a not such a good one is, you can see maybe the differences, and that one has her brows touched up. We've got one of my favorite sets here. This is the Susie Goose bedroom set. This was sold between 1961 and 1965. The canopy bed I have a particular fondness for. Somehow, incredibly, this is where my nostalgia for vintage Barbie actually connects to me personally. As many families' homes did in the early 70s, my mother's childhood bedroom was full of like faux French shabby chic furniture and this giant pink canopy bed. And whenever I went to go visit my grandparents, they never changed that room when my mother moved out. She had this pink carpet, pink walls, pink bedroom, everything was pink. And then they were surprised at what happened, you know. But this bed I found as I was collecting kind of early on in my Barbie journey and just died because that's exactly what I slept in every time I went to my grandparents' house. So I have a particular fondness for it. This is the original box. Now I think this box is not the usual, you don't usually see this printing. There's different graphics that are much more common, so I believe this is a rarer box. It also has the instructions on the box itself as opposed to like a booklet on the inside. And the bedding for this particular set is also quite rare. Usually you get a solid, like a true primary pink with a little ruffle on the side. This is a completely transparent, sort of plasticky material that's got polka dots lined all over it. This has the trunk, this has all 4 poster beds, it's intact, and we've got the kind of rare bedding with the pillow. And I just love how unnecessarily frilly it is. There's no reason to sleep in a nightgown like that in a bed that ridiculous. I would be sweaty, I would be tied up in knots, I would get out in the morning and probably break something because I'd be, you know, caught in frills and lace. But not Barbie. Barbie's too delicate and sophisticated for that. She, you know, it's no match for her.
I love it.
Yeah. We have the wardrobe for her. We've got, I think we're only missing one little piece here, but some really excellent pieces here, and yeah, I think if I could have a bedroom half as glamorous as this, I would just die. This is a not perfect condition. She needs a little bit of love, but this is a 1961 Bubble Cut Barbie. This was the first release of Bubble Cut Barbie. As you can see, she's got her mouth worn a little bit. She needs some care over at the Trinket Twink makeup counter. So maybe we'll have a spa day for her. She is in the complete set of Plantation Belle. We have the jewelry, we've got the purse, the bag, the shoes, the hat, and the petticoat, so that's really fun. The pink often fades on this outfit, so usually it looks almost white. This one could use a little bit more color. But this doll, I think most people don't favor bubble cuts quite as much because they're not as frilly maybe as ponytails. Ponytails feel more glamorous, right? I love bubble cuts. I want to, you know, they're underappreciated, and I think the 61 bubble cuts in particular are so beautiful. They've got smaller paint on their faces so their eyes maybe look more delicate, and they've got these big juicy lips, and they've got tighter bubbles. So if you're looking at bubble cuts on eBay and you see these really massive hairdos, almost like afros, those are going to be later editions. You can also tell by the marking on the body. So her foot will always say Japan. Sometimes it's imprinted, sometimes it's not indented, but you know, pointing out. But the patent pending is going to really be the indicator there on the body, on her butt. You'll see what that says. So she's a patent pending. She's got the classic lip shape, even though they're not there, and she's got that really small, tight bubble. And we can show you some other hairdos later that might kind of show you the difference.
I just learned so much, especially with the bubble. I've noticed that, but I didn't know that I noticed that, and that is so good to know.
Right.
Thank you.
She usually, as she gets older, she gets kind of chubbier cheeks and a smaller, kind of a thinner lip. It's like they deliberately made her kind of grumpy looking, and that certainly is endearing to some collectors. I want her to be ridiculous and glamorous and glam. And then we have everyone's probably next to, what's it called? next to Solo in the Spotlight, this is probably her most recognizable outfit. This is Suburban Shopper. Of course, the one thing it's missing is the coveted pearl drop on the necklace. We have the original chain and no pearl drop. So
no pearl drop.
So she is like almost not even worthy of being here. But what's fun about her is that this is also a fashion queen. I just love this little wig moment. She is so silly, and I think there's always a fun little surprise when you can take off that wig. So maybe she's out shopping for groceries and gets hot. She can be like, oh, I'm ditching this hair, going for just the hat. And now she's ready for, you know, a little farmer's market. This is a mint on card, not especially rare or valuable piece of Barbie merchandise, but it is exciting that it's never been removed. This is an accessory set of buttons and zippers. So we talked a little bit about mommy-made things earlier and what maybe your parents might have helped you craft for Barbie if you wanted more clothes or maybe couldn't afford the very expensive ones that were fashioned for Barbie. You could at least maybe replace a missing button, or you could craft your own outfit. Barbie had many patterns that you could purchase and make your own clothes with, and this was a really great way to sort of make that fantasy more realistic, that it's truly for her and for Midge. And over here we have another one of my favorites. I mean, they're all my favorites. How can you pick? This is Enchanted Evening. I think this might be the single most glamorous outfit Barbie has worn. It's a real fur stole satin dress. This particular outfit is shown on a reproduction doll. In 2012, Mattel released at BarbieCon a collection of Barbie called Let's Play Barbie. And I think of reproduction options, collectors certainly favor this one the most. She is probably the most realistic copy of a number 3, 4, maybe 5 doll. She's got the right facial proportions and paint. She just looks really solid. This is a complete set. She has the original earrings, which are very hard to find. Of course, we don't store them in her. We keep them somewhere else because we don't want any green ear because it's such a gnarly monster to fix. This also has a very coveted necklace. This is a triple chain choker with the 2 pearl drops down the back. So you can see here that it's got those kind of extra pearls hanging on the back there. Now, again, not an expert. My understanding is that this particular necklace came with this outfit, and there was one very, very similar that came with Mood for Music, but that one does not have the 2 pearl drops hanging on the back. I could be wrong, so if you have more information about that, please comment below. I want to see, please keep me in check. I always want to learn more, and I believe this is with this specific outfit. Now this also came with a pair of gold glitter toe shoes. These are clear, and over time have become very brittle, so we don't keep them on Barbie, but we've got a little bit of gold remaining on the toe there. Sometimes these also had gold glitter on the heel, which these, if they did at one point, don't anymore. But we've got some gold glitter here. These also, sometimes there was a variation with silver glitter. I believe they were marketed with gold glitter. But again, I could be wrong. I'm not an expert. And then of course we have Friday Night Date. This is a complete set as well. This is on a really pretty bubble. Now, excuse her green ear, she needs to go to the spa too. But the reason I brought her today is because I believe that this is the elusive white ginger bubble cut. So she's on a classic outfit here. This is a very fan favorite Barbie outfit. We've got a full tray with the shakes here. But this doll, it's often disputed among collectors what quantifies a white ginger bubble, and the general telltale signs are going to be a dark turquoise iris with a paler teal eyeliner, which this one has. Now, white gingers were only produced in 1961, so this one could be or could not be, because she has a slightly larger bubble than the other one does. Arguable, you could still say, well, it's smaller than some, and maybe that's true, but she has the pink lips, which are also a signature of that doll. These are shaped to be larger, the way 1961 would be. Needs a little touch up there. And she's also on a patent pending body, which would track with the timeline as well. So she's got hair that has oxidized a little bit. You can see that it's a little bit darker maybe than the lemon blonde we've got here. This normally would have come as like almost a platinum color, and usually that platinum oxidizes over time. But if you have any more information about white gingers, please let us know, because I always want to know more. And maybe I'm wrong. Prove me wrong. I'd love to be wrong.
I just, when you say that, you know those memes where the guy, he's like sitting and he's like at the table and he's like, prove me wrong.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah, we can have a...
We'll do that, but with a Barbie.
Yeah,
we'll edit that in so they know what we're talking about, but a little bit of pop culture. It's funny.
Cute.
Oh, what an amazing, amazing, amazing collection you have here, Christopher. It's just unbelievable. Well, Christopher, this is becoming one of my favorite little nooks of our shop.
Isn't it great?
It is so great.
It's one of my favorites too.
And we had to bring over our Barbie that is in her special ensemble for her own special little spot. Now, tell us what's going on here.
This might be the most exciting thing I do for the rest of my life. No, this is really remarkable. So this is a number 1 1959 Barbie. She is in excellent, excellent, phenomenal condition, and she is in her signature wedding day dress. Now, this is a dress that did not survive well over time. Not to mention it's a children's toy, right? But this is a satin gown lined, and it's got a lace overlay that is flocked with glitter. It's highly detailed, and so if you've got grubby little children fingers excited to pry them on Barbie's body, Barbie has tiny, pointy little fingers that always tend to get caught in the holes of this tulle and lace, right? So usually these sleeves, if they exist at all, are completely shredded. This gown doesn't have a single hole in it. This is completely intact. It's got all the original flocking and glitter, so if you see kind of catching light here, you've got some really lovely sparkle all over both the peplum and the full gown. This is a complete set as well. She's got jewelry, she's got her bouquet, the gloves. We have a garter that's actually never even been worn. This is kind of a nice, tight, stretchy elastic. And we have her number 1 shoes with the holes in the bottom. So she is ready to walk down the aisle and seemingly never actually marry Ken. I want to know what happens there. Maybe she's a runaway bride.
That's one of the things I ask, because there's a lot of wedding dresses, but
it's like she gets cold feet every time. They get married, they're right there, and then she says, sorry, it's Alan, right, every time. She never can commit. You've got an original box here with a TM the logo, which all fits. You have a complete set here. Now, normally if you were to buy this doll this way, she would be incredibly rare. She would come in what's called a silhouette box. So rather than a thin one like this with illustrations of Barbie, you would have a wide one to accompany the size of the dress, or accommodate the size of the dress, and it would be all pink, and you would only see the silhouettes of these illustrations in a darker pink, and those are called boxed dolls to collectors. You might find this ensemble on a number 1 that way, but this one we've kind of compiled. So this is my ensemble. This is a TM gown that belongs on a 1959 body, and the doll is provided by the one and only Rachel. So this is so exciting. I was putting this together and felt very, 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 very nerdy, because it almost made me just a little bit emotional to put this together.
And the fact that this is your job right now.
It's like, pinch me. Like, it's not real, right? It just doesn't feel real. So cool. And the doll still has wonderful coloring. Of course, she smells like crayons the way they usually do. Her body's in great shape. We can't be too deceitful here, because the gown does have some tissue in it to keep it fluffed. But we'll show you here that this is, in fact, a TM gown. So we're gonna remove the bouquet, because these always fall and break. We've got all of the ribbons here. We want to keep them. And this doll is nice and heavy because she's got a solid body and solid limbs. Maybe we'll remove this too, make sure that doesn't come off there. And if you see here, we've got the holes in the bottom of the feet. She is a well-loved number 1. And then we've got the on the back here. Her markings, Barbie Pat's Pending TM, and Barbie TM on the tag. So a full set here in a nice crisp ivory. It's not true white, but it's got a little bit of love, and it's all intact. And I just can't get enough of this. It's such a dream to put this on the doll that it was intended to be on, because this has been on a really lovely but kind of cheap reproduction, you know, Titian Let's Play Barbie for a little while, and I think on her is just meant to be.
It looks beautiful.
Right?
I love this.
So, so this is maybe ideal condition, right? This is something you would find and really get excited about. Often, this dress looks very different. If you can find it at all, often looks something more like this. So, even more well-loved. You've got some flocking here. You can see the wearing. There's maybe a piece or two of some sparkle that we got from remaining glitter. Probably some staining, probably some missing snaps. These have all of theirs. And there's a nice big tear in the middle of the blouse here, but we have sleeves, so that's a plus. If you see closely, you've got some holes in the tulle there. That's often from Barbie thumbs or Barbie pinkies. And this one is a Barbie registered trademark, so it's not common that you see the TMs. When you do, you gotta hop on those. Those really are very exciting.
Well, we couldn't help but peek into this case because you opened it up to grab one of the Barbie outfits. Now yeah. Lily is hanging out.
Yeah, so for anyone that doesn't know, I'm always excited to share Barbie knowledge for the first time with somebody. Barbie is inspired by somebody else, and that somebody else is named Lily, produced by a company called Build in Germany. And before Barbie was produced, Ruth Handler, her creator, was on vacation with her family in Germany and saw this rather grotesque doll named Lily. Now, Lily...
Grotesque? What?
She's a call girl.
Yeah,
so,
but, hey, you know...
You know, all work is valid.
Exactly.
But she has an attitude. And Build Lily was first a comic book character, not comic book character, maybe like a comic strip character that catered to eager businessmen, maybe in Germany. And this doll was sort of manifested from that comic. I suppose that maybe these gentlemen exchanged Build Lilies with each other. I'm not sure what they do with them, but this is a really great way.
She was a souvenir. Like, yeah. It was fun. It was fun.
She's all for fun.
Yeah.
And Ruth Handler brought her back to the US and to Mattel and said, this is what I want to craft. And of course, all of the men in charge were maybe not in favor of her because she's voluptuous and she's sexy and she's all of these things. But Ruth envisioned an opportunity to use this as a template for something really endearing and imaginative and wonderful for children and especially young girls to envision a future for themselves with. So this is an original Build Lily, and she's got another outfit ensemble here and some information about it. This is a really phenomenal, very rare, one-of-a-kind piece to have in a collection. And of course, turn of the century has one because
you gotta have one.
You gotta have one.
Yeah, gotta tell the whole story.
Right. We've got another bridal scene here. This is the dress that followed the wedding day that we just showed you guys. This came out, I believe, in '62, but I could be wrong. This is Bride's Dream, and it's got a really nice ruffle in the front. It's a little bit more subdued. It's elegant in a sort of understated way, and this one is very common. This one was produced maybe much more, and children had lots of play with these. These are also found in kind of tattered shapes sometimes, but this one's not bad. And her maid of honor, also Barbie, of course, Barbie's maid of honor Barbie, is in an orange blossom ensemble that is naturally the best choice for a wedding.
We have 2 gold cases that we thought when we were filling them, what do we put in them? And we thought Barbie.
I mean, it's the best case for her. Gilded and ornate, come on. This is very fun. So this case has lots of really wonderful treasures. We've got a lovely, lovely number 3 here in just marvelous shape. Her lips have turned a beautiful tomato red. It's a nice punchy orange red. She's got a nice fair, milky complexion, as so many of these dolls with this vinyl composite do. Her hair, I believe, is in the original elastic. That's crazy. And she's got all of her fingernail polish and most of her toenail polish, and her classic swimsuit. The quote-unquote zebra outfit, even though those are certainly not zebra stripes. But fashionable, nonetheless. I think a real knockout piece of your collection, Rachel, is an in-box mint talking Barbie. This is insane, and I have always wanted to find out if she still works, so I'd be curious to see if she does. She's never been out. She's still got her original set hair. The swimsuit, if you look closely, she has her wrist tag still, which is so cool. Her eyelashes look beautiful. Her paint is beautiful, and there's an opportunity to pull her string in the back. And now I want to see
go for it
if that works. So, drum roll, please.
Drum roll, please.
Maybe. Oh, maybe.
Does it even pull?
I don't think it might be jammed. And I'm not gonna pull it if it doesn't want to. But, yeah, it's not coming out. Well, we may never know.
We may never know, and that's okay.
But, I mean, does she even need to say anything? Look at her.
No, she's good.
Truly, what a knockout. And then everyone's favorite sidekick, Batman's Robin. No, I'm just kidding. Midge is another superstar of the collection. She's also, we saw this outfit earlier today. This is Friday Night Date. And she's also complete with the shakes. She's got her classic little brunette flip. And next to her is another Miss Barbie. Now, this is your personal collection, right, Rachel?
This was my mom's personal, so it belongs to
Wow.
our shop now, and it's just, she is so funny.
She's so funny. She's another sort of unpopular opinion. People don't love this doll because she's a little unsettling to look at. Make no mistake, this is not a pink sad wig. This is actually her swimsuit cap for swimming. Now, she's got a little bit of that melting mark, so if you want to get an example, maybe if you haven't seen what that might look like, this is a really good representation of a very mild case of some melting. You see that her ear is missing a little bit here, and she's got some melting up here. She has her headband as well. I don't know if we'd mentioned this before, but this was the first doll Mattel made with bendable legs, and she's the one and only with sleep eyes. So when you bend her open and closed, or rather when you bend her forward and back, her eyes open and close. I think she's remarkable. I think she's such a fascinating toy, and I'm sad there weren't more of them. But if you look closely too, you can see that her brows really only begin and end at the perimeter of her eyes. And the one that we spoke about earlier, my own, has a little bit of a longer brow. Just slightly, and you can see that might be, they're a little bit darker and they're not quite symmetrical. You can tell that she's had some work done, if you will. But I love her complexion. Her lips are so pretty. That nice watermelon coral color is so cute. This is her original swimsuit. Miss Barbie came with a lawn swing, of all things, and a planter, and a side table, and some magazines, and maybe a phone, I think. And I just think she's so ridiculous. A little, like,
She's so ridiculous.
sleepy lawn swing Miss Barbie. You can kind of open and close her eyes. These swimsuits came in lots of variations, so sometimes you'll see actual dots of glitter glued onto the suit like this. Sometimes you'll see a print of like a gold, maybe like a gold lacquer of some kind that's like sealed on. There's many different variations of this swimsuit, and every once in a while you'll see a prototype of this with a different maybe color or texture.
Well, Christopher, this was one of my favorite programs of our entire event. We just had so much fun, didn't we?
Oh my gosh, I was born for this moment. And I hope that I didn't rattle off anything too quickly. It's the excitement just bubbling out of me.
that's what we love, is the sharing of the excitement and just having fun and doing dolls together. So what can we look forward to from Trinket Twink in the future?
Probably lots of clumsy attempts to restore Barbie. I in addition to being a fervent fan of dolls, and particularly Barbie, and a staff member now of Turn of the Century, I'm also a makeup artist of 10 years, and so I've been curating that skill for a long time. And recently, the last couple of years, I've been thinking like, well, I've been doing makeup on people-sized faces for so long, why not try it on Barbie-sized faces? So I've been doing a little bit of restoration, both in repainting and in restyling hair. So there might be some of that, but you will always see some very eager, excited post about whatever I've recently acquired from eBay, probably. And I'm always excited to share them. So
love it.
Getting to do it here is such a joy. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. This was great.
It was wonderful.
I'm excited for more programs and more Barbie adventures with you.
Yes.
And thank you for bringing all of these treasures here.
Yes, of course. Now I think I'm gonna go have a nice slumber in that pink canopy bed with Barbie and have some pink fluffy cotton candy dreams for later.
That sounds good. All right. Thank you, Christopher.
Thanks, Rachel.
Bye.
Bye.